It looks like we're online. Okay, 12 seconds online. Excellent. Cool. We are off and running. So, welcome to the Twitch live stream. Happy to have you. Now, this will be recorded. I will post all this information again on YouTube. So, don't feel like you have to make the live stuff. Although the live things are where we've got the chat window open. So, you can get into the chat window and you can definitely ask questions as we go through things. Don't feel this is completely informal. This is very relaxed. Consider it an AMA at all times. We can talk about anything you want. I've got a little agenda of things I would like to talk about and cover, but I'm absolutely open. Oops, I forgot to turn on my light. Hang on, let's get that fixed. There we go. Ah, cool. Now you guys can see. Anyway, so I'm completely open to anything you guys want to talk about. So any kind of questions you have, just put them in the chat window. I will be looking over here. I am working here, right? This is the window that you guys can see. You can see my mouse. That's going to be where we do all the work. But when I look back over here, I see the camera, I see you guys. And so I will definitely look at the chat window and talk to you as we go. Today, what I want to cover. As you can see, I've got Azure Data Studio up. I've got it connected to a, let's see, I haven't used Zoom in this new mode. This is one thing I forgot to test. I don't know how that works or what it shows, but there you go. Wonder what that did. That'll be interesting to see. Anyway, I may have to edit this video and then put zooms in independently. We'll see what happens. Don't worry about it. This is all still largely an experiment. This is my second real live stream. So, again, if anyone has any questions, type them right into the chat window and we'll do it that way. Anyway, we're going to cover some stuff in Azure Data Studio. What I've got running here is a Linux container in Docker hosting SQL Server. And I'm going to explore that using Azure Data Studio. So the keywords and tricky phrases for this event are SQL Server, Linux, Azure Data Studio, and Docker and container. All those are the keywords. So that's the stuff we're going to cover. Once more, anyone has any questions, type them right into the chat window and we'll go over it. So let's get started. Now, this is Azure Data Studio. If you haven't seen it before, a lot of people are talking about it. I'm starting to use it more and more for my work all the time, although this is really ugly. Hang on one second. So Control-Shift-P is your bestest friend in the world in Azure Data Studio. Control-Shift-P brings up this window. And again, I don't know how the zoom is working, but we're just going to try it. I don't know how that affects the stream. Can you guys see? There's some of you in there. Can you see the zoom occur? Just type into the chat window. Let me know. Anybody? Bueller? Okay. Well, anyway, what I want to do is, this is kind of ugly. I want to go to a dark theme. Let's see. I like that one. That's better, right? No zoom? Wait, let's try one more time. How about now? Did that zoom a bunch? If not, lesson learned, and I will move forward. That did zoom. Cool, good to know. Excellent, now I know. Awesome. We will move forward with that in mind. So, this is Azure Data Studio. And yeah, you can make dark themes. Woohoo! Anyway, that's not the important stuff. Yeah, I can go in here and manipulate things. Obviously I can open up a database and manage it. This is a test database I created for a blog post I wrote recently. And, and the kind of stuff that you're used to, backup, restore, new query. You can control the dashboard and do all kinds of fun stuff. I've got videos on that on my YouTube channel. Somebody's, yeah, yay, dark themes. I agree. So anyway, that's all fun and good. But let's let's start using this, right? It's not a question of can it do certain things? Sure, it can, but we really need to use it. So first off, let's go look at plugins, the extensions. Now I've got a few extensions installed. I've got Docker Explorer, PowerShell, Redgate SQL Search, and for those of you who don't know, I work for Redgate Software. The 2019 Preview and SQL Server Profiler. Now there's a whole slew of other ones that you can get, and you can go to the Visual Studio Code Marketplace. Because this is essentially Visual Studio Code that we're working with. You can go to that marketplace and get stuff. Now, the only reason I'm bringing this up is because I'm using the Docker Explorer. So if we go to the Explorer window, you see we get a whole bunch of different things. We can see open editors and, if there are folders open, outlines, and all that fun stuff. There's some of the markdown and documentation things in here I have not even started to explore. So this is actually very, it looks sparse, but it's extremely dense. There's a lot of things going on here. But if we, and by the way, I didn't zoom. Good gosh, what a bad presenter. I want to look at the Docker Hub and see what I have open for Docker. Nothing. Well, hang on. Do I have any images? Well, let's take a look at that. Aha, I do have an image. So there it is, CTP2 on 2019. Has that image been made into any containers? Yes it has. There's a container Twitch. That's from last week's stream is when I created this. And yeah, you can execute in bash, start, stop, restart, attach, statistics, logs, inspect, remove. You can control Docker directly from here, from Azure Data Studio. That's pretty slick. That's nice. I mean, there's another way we can do it too. We've already got the terminal open. So the terminal lets us do a bunch of stuff in Docker as well. And you'll see that part of what it's doing is it's sending out commands. Now that's showing as Docker Explorer. And I can zoom to that so you guys can see it. And you can make it into PowerShell or whatnot. It's all good. I'm digging this stuff. I really am. I mean, it's really changing the way I do a lot of things. So let's start messing with SQL Server for real, all right? First thing I want to do is, remember the keystroke for it. I want to open up my terminal. Now you guys can't see this here. I'll make it so you guys can see it. Give me 1 second. It'll only take a second. What I have to do is go here and go here and make this go away. And there you go. Now you can see the thing that was hiding. So you can control the terminal. You can change the default and customize it as you want to. I've got mine set so it always goes to PowerShell. And you can make this turn off, configure the notification so it doesn't come up anymore. I've left it on so you guys can see it. And now I'm going to turn myself back on. There we go. Cool. That should all be working for you guys. Now let's do real things with SQL Server. For example, let's change directories. cd to downloads /adw ls. Okay, cool. So what we've got here is I've got the AdventureWorks backup. Yes, AdventureWorks. Yes, yes. We're using AdventureWorks. So what we're going to do is go into here and I'm just curious about something. Don't pay no mind to me. I thought so. Look at that. You can increase the font size really easily inside the Azure Data Studio. All you do is hit Control plus and it makes the fonts bigger. So I don't have to zoom anymore, although I bet that's probably hard for you guys to see. Let me scroll that over a little bit so I'm out of the way. Yeah, cool. That's nice. All right, so Docker exec. Yes, I can use the GUI to do this. I am actually going to take my camera off. It's going to be handier to have that out of the way for right now. Give me 1 second. There we go. Sorry about that. Docker exec IT. Oh my gosh, I've completely lost track where I was. There we go. The name of my container is Twitch, and what I'm going to do is make a directory. We'll call it backup for where our backups are. Backups, because all our backups go there. That looks good. Cool. So that's actually just using PowerShell through the Docker command to create a backup location. So I've already got the download done. So now what we have to do is really simple. We have to copy. Yeah, there's a command for that. And it's adventureworks2017.bak, because I put that up there so I could type and still see it. And let's see, copy AdventureWorks BAK to Twitch, and that's var opt mssql and backups. Oops, what'd I do? Oh, right. Typos, typos, typos. There we go. Sorry about that. Ta-da. Done. Awesome. Now I'm going to zoom back out here a little bit because that's just hard for me to read, tell you the truth. All right, now, before I keep going, I am going to go ahead and put the camera back on and check to see if there's any questions. No questions yet. There's a bunch of you guys in the room already. Please feel free, if there's questions as we go along, or if there's things you'd like to see, things you can't see, stuff I didn't explain adequately, type the questions right there in the chat. This is, yeah, I'm doing a presentation. Yes, I'm showing off some stuff. Yes, I'm going to walk you guys through how to do these restores and how to use Azure Data Studio and all that fun stuff. But this is also an AMA, right? This is a live stream event. You guys can ask anything you want. This is completely informal. There's no hard and fast rules that we have to follow. If you've got a question, type it right in there and we'll start talking about it. In the meantime, let's go back to our server. Let's do File, New Query. And we could have done Control-N, anything we want. Let's get rid of the terminal for the moment, because we're going to be working in t-sql. Everyone here has heard of t-sql? Raise your hands. I'm joking. Of course you've heard of t-sql, I know. Oh look, I thought that was back up. Huh, it wasn't. My bad. I'm sitting there talking like you guys can see me. Raise your hands. Yeah, I can see you. You didn't know that? Yeah, all your cameras are on. It's kind of cool. Joking. I can't see anyone. All right. So let's restore a database. Equals, yeah, pay no attention to that because I'm sure not going to. I should have left it up so I could see what I typed before. Good gosh, that's hard. Okay. I believe that's right. Restore file list only from disk, and let's run it. Oh, come on. Sorry about that. Had to make the connection to the database again. What? Oh, double quotes. Why did I do double quotes? What's wrong with me? I apologize. I'm not thinking. I've been running so much PowerShell lately, it's starting to mess up my brain. There we go. Okay, restore database from disk equals, let's copy and paste because I'm lazy and I do lots of typos. So rather than do that, let's do that with move. And by the way, this is all live, so you guys are seeing just every single wart there is to see. Real question is where the heck did I put my where the heck did I put my data? Move AdventureWorks to, I believe I'll get this right, but I might not. We'll see. w.mdf. Cool. Comma. Move AdventureWorks underbar log to var opt mssql slash data slash adw underscore log.ldf. Awesome. That should work. We'll see. Oops. Oh, duh. Yeah, you need to give it a database name, you dork. How come none of you typed that into the chat? What's going on? Or did you? I actually can't see the chat right now. Oh, duh. One day I'll learn how to do this stuff. I've only been doing it for 30 years. God knows. There we go. Actually, I'm not digging this theme. I need to remap my keys is what I need to do. Oh, AdventureWorks 2017 log. Did somebody type that and correct me? No. You guys aren't helping at all. What's wrong? Anyway. There we go. That should do it. All right. Typos aside, Grant's inability to type, and probably your inability to see it. There we go. A little bit bigger. That's more visible. I'm running a restore of a database to Linux. And it's really easy. So there we go. We've restored the database to Linux, and execution times, whatever it was. It's gone through all these upgrade steps, blah, blah, blah. And let's go over here and refresh. And yeah, it's a lot like Management Studio in terms of the GUI. But now we've got, AdventureWorks fully loaded into Linux, and now we can run queries against that. So there's nothing to it. You go to Manage as before, and again, restore, backup, searches against it. By the way, if we're doing searches, Control-Shift-P, type in SEARCH, and oh, look at that. Let's SQL search. Let's reindex the active connection with SQL search. So that's going on right now. I'm not going to leave it running. I'm going to leave that running for a minute or so while that does its thing. Go on. There it goes. Index updated successfully. You can't see that. Hang on one second. There, now you can. Index updated successfully there in the lower right. So this thing is working. This is all working. I'm so happy. And if we do Control-Shift-P again, I said if we do Control-Shift-P again, SQL search, search in active connection, and it says search term. What do you guys like? sales order ID. How about that one? Sales order ID, hit enter. And we got nothing. Oh no, it's coming. There it goes. Awesome. Yay! Azure SQL Database. Sorry, Azure SQL Database. Azure Data Studio rocks. I've got full-blown Redgate tooling. I've got, pretty much anything I want. Let's reveal it in the Object Explorer. So it's going to take us over to there. Let's view the definition. And it's going to open up the t-sql definition so we can see it. Yay! Nice and easy. This is great. I'm just, it's so simple to use. And once you start using this stuff, you're going to get more comfortable with it. So it's pretty cool. Now, some of the other things that we can do is you want to take a look at Control-Shift-P and scroll. So you don't have to simply just rely on, knowing what the commands are to find, to track them down. You can go in here and start looking around. Now it's context sensitive, so it knows I'm connected up to a database. So it's got, backup. It's got, stuff like that. Change the connection. You can do things with the command line: delete all left, delete all right. But then it gets into the more detailed stuff, developer, inspect context keys. Let's scroll past that. Execute in bash. If if we connect up to a Linux, we can start executing stuff through the bash scripting directly. We can get into our extensions if you want to disable or enable your extensions for speed purposes, or if there's something going wrong and you want to start messing with things. All these things are available. File, compare with files saved, open files, so you can get into doing all kinds of file management, folding the regions, folding the levels. Yes, Git. I've already got a video on YouTube on how to use source control with this, and I'm going to be setting it up locally. That video is on a VM. This is all running locally on my laptop, because with the ability to run this, which is extremely lightweight, along with the ability to run containers, which are extremely lightweight, doing a lot of work on my desktop, which I didn't used to do. I used to put everything into a VM in order to keep my desktop clean, as minimal stuff as possible to avoid issues. But Docker has been really, really stable. Containers are really, really easy and stable. This thing is extremely stable and very small. So I'm actually doing a lot more work just on the desktop rather than having to do all the stuff through the VM. So it's these things just, I'm not even doing full-blown development, and these things are changing the way I do my work. If you guys are doing full-blown development, if you're getting into all the other kind of stuff, you will also be seeing a lot more things. So just checking to make sure there's any comments. No? No comments yet. Looks like I skipped a few frames. Skip frames detected warning has come up. But okay. Well, we're still going, so we'll see how it goes. Should be fine. But basically, you can see that we've got full-blown SQL Server working, doing everything we need it to do. So, you've got the messages. Yeah, there's ways you can get into the explain plan. I don't recommend looking at explain plans in this thing just yet. Let me show you why. Let's see. I'm going to do select star just for the start. I will not do a select star demo. No more select star demos. Huh, I would have thought it was pick this up. Oh, right, because we're not in AdventureWorks. There we go. There we go. As SOH join sales order detail as SOD on. Oops. And then let's go back up and fix the star. SOH dot. We will say order date and, you know, due date, and we'll go down to details and get the order quantity and product ID. So here's a, you know, basic query. You know, nothing complex, nothing fancy. It's a query, right? It does what it does, and that's that. But you can see that it's up, it's running, and so I can run this query. When I run this query, I get back results, and there's a whole bunch of things you can do on the results. You can save as CSV, you can save as Excel. Oh, guys, you guys can't see that. One second. My bad. Or actually my fat face. There we go. There, now you can see it. Save as CSV, save as Excel, save as JSON. Oh my gosh. Or you can turn this into a chart that you can actually put into your command windows here and control it that way. So there's a lot of stuff we can do with this. The one thing we can't do with this really right now is what I'm going to show you. It's there, but it doesn't work well, okay? And this is it. The query plan. So the query plan that it shows has a very limited set of things that it shows off. Now, I don't want to pick on them much. This was written, I believe, someone on a flight from the UK to the US wrote this on the flight and implemented it. You know, gosh, like, oh look, I got it working. Woohoo! So, you know, I don't want to pick on them. It's been that way for a year now. Yeah, it's time to start picking on them because it's been that way for a year. This is completely, what's a good word? Junk. So they really need to fix this. It's past time. But other than that, I mean, you know, we're hooked in. We're running this stuff, and you can see, you know, we've got control of the entire Docker container through Azure Data Studio. I've got my ability to run my PowerShell commands all through Azure Data Studio. I'm starting to do all my development either in Azure Data Studio or Visual Studio Code for PowerShell. And I've got control of SQL Server through Azure Data Studio. So why am I using Management Studio again? Oh, right, there's a few things in there. For example, one of the things, let's see if we can find it. Control-Shift-P. Always Control-Shift-P. That's always your command. And let's look for Profiler. Right, there it is, Profiler. Oh. So it's opened this thing up and it's saying, hey, what do you want to start? Do you want to start a standard on-prem, a standard Azure, or a t-sql on-prem? Let's do t-sql on-prem. And, you know, let's give it a name. We'll call it